A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I greet you, my brothers and sisters, with the noble and universal greeting of peace, the greeting that has been used by the prophets and messengers of our universal Creator, Almighty Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shukr to Allah. I'm alive, I'm well, and I am spiritually stronger than ever before. I'm grateful for the guidance that has come to us, that I have recognized as valuable, and I use, and I benefit from the use of that guidance. And so last week, I said to you that we can look at ourselves and begin to see whether we are on track or off track. And I'm saying this from my own experience, that when I was unaware that I was unaware, when I thought that I knew, when I believed that I believed, but I was only a hypocrite. I said I believed, but I only deceived myself. When my heart was a disease, that disease was expanded, and I was astray, and I was left to stray until I hit rock bottom. When I hit rock bottom, I realized that something's not wrong with others or the world. Something's wrong with the way I am seeing things. I'm not aware. I didn't realize that I was not aware, but I knew that there was something that was an issue. Not that something was wrong with me, but I wasn't aware. You get what I mean? I'm the same me, only more aware. And so I'm a higher version of me. And so we go through a change when guidance comes to us, when we humble ourselves and we want to learn, grow and develop, and we allow that guidance into our minds, open our minds to that guidance, open our hearts to that guidance, the benefit of that guidance to be felt in our hearts, the peace. So I was gripped with worry, I was gripped with sorry, I was gripped with fear, shame, feeling obligated. That's how you know your heart is diseased. If your heart is diseased, you'll be very insecure. I'm not going to quote the Quranic references, but this is what was told to the Prophet Adam. That there the people will be insecure until guidance comes to them. Those who accept the guidance will no longer be insecure. And I was unaware that I was insecure. I was unaware that there was guidance, and I wasn't aware that I had not accepted that guidance. And when I became aware of the guidance and that I didn't accept the guidance and I chose to accept the guidance, then I'm more aware and experiencing than I was then. That time I was unaware and non-experiencing. The Quran says, verily in the remembrance of Allah, hearts experience assurance. In the remembrance of Allah, the moment you become aware of Allah. I'm not talking about your ideas of Allah or your beliefs about Allah. I'm talking about actually being aware of Allah and believing in Allah. Having beliefs about Allah and believing in Allah, where you really are aware of Allah, is alone being the perfect, that creation is and will never be perfect. We can be, let's say, healthy, wholesome, natural, on the straight path rather than deviant, but we can never be perfect. Only Allah, the one alone that actually is the real, the truth, is perfect. So when I became aware of Allah, I became aware that I was imperfect and it was okay. He created me imperfect. That we all created imperfect. That's why He allows us to invoke Him. Ask me for protection. Ask me, come to me as your refuge. All of mankind in the Quran is told, claim refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed. Allah is calling us back to Him. Come back. Yet we don't know, we are astray, we don't know, our hearts are diseased, but we're living it, right? When you fail to remember Allah, your life when you fail to remember Allah, yours will be a depressed life. That's how you know, one of the ways in which, you are failing to remember Allah, yours will be a depressed life, spiritually unexpressed. You might say, I got money, I got this, I got that, at a physical level, at a material level. Even non-believers have material financial success, material financial success, or having what you believe you need of the world doesn't mean you are spiritually expressed, that you experience peace, that your heart is being cleansed, that there's assurance in your heart. So I was there at the lowest point of my life, and instead of asking Allah to take me back to how things were, I realized that if I don't move forward into a higher level of awareness, there's going to be no solution for me. And so I began to remember Allah. Not that anybody told me, or I went to anybody to tell me and they told me. They were lost themselves, right? The gurus and the pundits, what do they know, really speaking? They can't help themselves. What they can do for anybody else. I'm generalizing. I went to the people, they couldn't give me any answers. I turned to Allah. And that's what the Quran tells us. Claim refuge with Allah from Satan the accursed. You can't go to any person for a refuge, for protection. They're not going to avail you. Only Allah. If you go to somebody and they are true believers, aware of Allah, they can guide you back to Allah. They won't guide you to themselves and tell you to follow them and just read this and read that and all that. You know what I mean? So, this is the experience that I've had. That I didn't know I didn't know. I thought I knew. And when things happened in my life, I thought it had nothing to do with my unawareness and non-experiencing. I didn't realize that a believer is one who is aware of Allah, is Allah conscious, and who is secure. I wasn't secure. I was needy on the world. I thought the world was more special and important than Allah. I thought Allah was there, but just like some kind of genie or something, must turn to Him for help when I have problems in the world. I didn't know that in becoming Allah aware, you would realize there really are no problems, that the only problem, if there were one, is that you're not Allah aware. That's how most people relate to God. They think God is just there, like when you got problems, you must appease God and please God and ask God for help. But Allah has given us guidance to become conscious of Him and to experience being believers and to live in this world with Iman and live with Amal, high conduct, and to live a natural life. The Quran is guidance for a way of living. Islam is a way of living. It's not a religion to be believed in and rituals to be performed, which it has sadly been reduced to, a modified version of Hinduism. Amongst the Indian people from India. I was doing some research, speaking to, a young woman sister in her mid-20s, who's not married. And I was listening to, her understanding. Like she wants to get married because I'm doing this course to assist people to live naturally. And she's clueless and lost. I had to explain to her that in India, these were arranged marriages when the people were children, literally, child brides and all that. These were arranged in India, arranged marriages. She says, it's my taqdeer. I said, what about arranged marriage? When people get together, because I asked her, when you get married in Islam, do they ask the parents, are you okay with your daughter marrying this man? Do you want this daughter to marry that man? they don't ask the parents in Islamic teaching when the woman is marrying. They ask the woman. Imagine asking children, are you sure you're going to marry? You really sure? Children are confused. You know what I mean? So people don't know that what we're dealing with is culture, the Indian culture. And it's so funny, it's not really, but it is sometimes, that sad, tragically funny, that these are people who are very religious. They're very religious. So they think they know, and then I have to show them that you don't really understand. That Allah says, that marriage is for having in your heart tranquility. He put love and compassion in our hearts that we may dwell with each other in tranquility. That the purpose of marriage is to have tranquility. This is what Allah wants for you. And she's like, what if I marry a man who's like angry and, have to walk on eggshells? And I was like, but Allah wants peace for you. He wants for you healthy living. Believers must marry believers. Believers mustn't marry hypocrites. Because woe to those who stand in prayer, whose hearts lack the smallest of kindnesses. I said to her, if you marry a man whose heart lacks the smallest of kindnesses, you've married a hypocrite. And it's for you to trust in Allah and trust in the ability He gave you. You must say to Allah, I want to marry a real believer. I want to marry somebody who has love and compassion in their heart. Not live in fear of what if I. So what I'm trying to say is there's doubt, there's fear, there's no awareness of Allah and what He wants for us. There's no awareness that we have the ability to reason. Allah gave us the ability to reason. I explained to her, I said to her, when you're speaking to somebody who's interested in marriage, you can say, I follow the Quranic guidance, that love and compassion in my heart for my partner, and my partner to have love and compassion in his heart for me, that we may dwell in tranquility. They're scared to say things like that. But that's what the Quran is for, guidance. They're scared because in the culture you're not allowed to say that. Indian women, still in India, some parts of it, when the men die, their husbands die, they have to jump on the funeral pyre and end their lives. They have no point. In India, Hindu India, the women have no point beyond being a wife and a mother. And still today, in more Hindu culture, so-called Muslim people that I call Islamis, they're still the same. I don't expect them not to, because it's culture, they carry on. It's hypocrisy. You know what I mean? I asked her, how do you get married? Well, depends on somebody finding me, choosing me. It depends on people, fixing me up. And I said, no, it depends on Allah. Allah is the one. You show Him what you want. He's a meter of needs. He shows you the way. He will bring to you the person you... So, these people can go to madrasa. They can go to, a religious instruction. But they're just culturally still Hindu girls, Indian girls, still Hindu girls at heart. The Islam hasn't reached them yet. Sadly. And so there's a crisis in the community. Muslim women, so-called Muslim women, more Indian culture women, are waiting. They're not invoking their Creator. They don't know who they are, what they want. They don't know how to invoke Allah. They don't know how to feel assured that Allah has given them respect and rights. The Prophet conveyed the rights of women, the Quran conveyed. They don't know. They're still in the India mentality, waiting. And that man will come, say, I like you, then now, okay, now I'd rather take him because nobody else might come. They're marrying from fear, they're marrying from worry. And is it any surprise that when it doesn't work out, either it's very bearable or it's unbearable? Is it any surprise? It's not a surprise. Then what they say? It was taqdeer. Back to India. They don't even understand taqdeer. I said that the Prophet ﷺ said that dua changes your taqdeer. You, through dua, can have a different reality. They don't get it. Because They think they got it. See, if you don't realize I am superstitious, the culture that I am more about is India, Hinduism, than true Islam. You see, who's prepared to admit that in a tribe today that is lost in Islamism? Well, then you must bear the consequences of it. At least I open my eyes. Shukr to Allah. So what I'm sharing with you is that I began to see the effects of my own disbelief on myself. I wasn't kind to my soul. I wasn't kind to me. I wasn't kind to my body. I wasn't kind to my life. I wasn't kind to my future life, my future self. I wasn't kind to my after self, afterlife, I wasn't kind to areas of my life with people, things and experiences. I wasn't kind to others. I wasn't letting kind people be kind to me. My heart was diseased, is what I'm trying to say to you. This is a simple test. Look and see if you're governed by guilt and shame and fear and worry and obligation and neediness and greediness. Look and see if there's any kindness. Woe to those who stand in prayer, but whose hearts lack the smallest of kindness to themselves, to their own souls. The Quran speaks about being a benefit to your own soul. I didn't know about my soul and how to be a benefit to my soul. I didn't know. But now I know about my soul and how to be a benefit to my soul. I know how to be kind to my soul. I didn't know about me and my relationship with me. Now I know how to be kind to me in my relationship, but I have a relationship with me. Because I have a relationship with Allah. This is my point. That if you haven't developed a relationship with Allah, and you haven't seen the truth, the beauty of our Creator and His gifts to us, if you don't realize what has been given to us, if you are ungrateful, the Quran says Satan stands on the path and he renders people ungrateful. I was there. If you are ungrateful, if you're not aware of Allah, His mercy, His kindness, His compassion, His giving, unconditional giving nature, if you haven't become aware of Allah and you haven't remembered Allah and if you're not feeling in your heart that assurance that I'm in error, but I remember Allah. Everybody is in error. Everybody has forgotten Allah. But now I'm remembering Allah. I'm still not perfect. I'm still in error, actually. I'm still living very unhealthily. I don't have a good relationship with my soul. The Quran says about those, who are grateful and they get more. Those who appreciate, are appreciative for the benefit of their own soul. I wasn't appreciative about Allah and what He has given to me and what I am created, the highest life form on earth we human beings are, given status and standing. I was unaware, as most of the people are unaware, and therefore I was non-experiencing. I wasn't seeing clearly as a believer. I was still in that Satan mind that wasn't seeing clearly as a believer. So my first relationship is with Allah. In fact, my only real relationship is with Allah. My parents are created beings. People around me, our spouses, our children, our families are created beings. We can't really have, people as a substitute for our relationship with our Creator, because that's what it was for me that time. I was looking for somebody to love me. I was looking for somebody to be with me. Allah is always with me. And Allah's love I couldn't see. I couldn't see Allah's love. And nobody was telling me about it. They just told me about, you're in error, do this, do that, and you go to hell if you don't. And, fear. Told me about religion, not even the deen of Islam. They told me about their religion. They made a religion of a deen. This is the way of Abraham, the Millah. They made a religion of a deen. They made it a concept that they worship. Remember, in India they had a hierarchical system, right? Caste system. I don't know if you know. Still amongst us today, with the different Muslim groups in their own language groups, their own communities. This caste system. And right on top was the priestly caste. And they kept everybody at the bottom, told them, you must know your place. It's your taqdeer. Whenever bad things happen to you, it's your taqdeer. That's not what the Quran says. The Quran says, it's your own hands have caused. You understand? So in India, the priestly class, they just liked and enjoyed being superior, and they knew everything, and they wanted followers. And they never empowered the followers with haqq and truth. The gurus and the pandits, they never really tell the people connect with Allah. They want them to follow them. Guru worship, pandit worship. And so it came into Islam too. Not into Islam, it can't come into Islam. And Islam came to India. It was corrupted by this system of castes and religious elite. The Quran says, let's not take from among ourselves lords and patrons, that we all bow before Allah. All are equal before Allah. We're only different in terms of our awareness of Allah. But all are equal. There was no such thing as this kind of thing that we have. It's from India, where they enjoy celebritydom, fame, control, but they never give people the truth. They never give them what's in the Quran. They never gave them. They just give pompous speeches from the ivory towers, hiding in the mosques and the madrasas with children. They're nowhere to be seen in society. Nowhere to be seen in society. They're nowhere to be seen at the forefront. There's a crisis in marriage. There's a crisis in nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen addressing it. Because they are part of the problem. They themselves promote that unconsciously. Male chauvinism. They're more in the culture. They can't see the difference between the religion, the deen. Islam is supposed to take you beyond the culture and the religion of the past. It's liberation. So I'm just saying to you that you do with the information what you want. It means nothing to me what you do with the information or not. I'm just saying that I began to see that I was unkind to my soul. Who told me about my soul and how to be kind to my soul? I was unkind to myself. Who told me about me and being kind to me? Who told me about my body and how to be kind? The Quran is all about your soul and you and each other as human beings, to have human esteem, to have respect for ourselves, not to follow Satan and attack each other. Nobody told me. It was in the Quran, but nobody told me. They said, you don't try and read the Quran because you won't know. You don't have the knowledge. They told me that. They told me. But that's not what Allah says. Allah says, claim refuge in Allah from Satan the accursed. Now read the Quran. Ask Allah for guidance. Allah is your guide. They said, no, you must come to us because you can't trust yourself. I don't trust me. Nor do I trust them. I don't trust created beings, is where I went on this digression. There's only Allah for me to have a relationship with. And as long as you have a relationship, you're looking for a relationship with a man, woman, a parent, even a guru and a pandit, you don't have the only relationship that really exists with your Creator. Only your Creator actually is the cause of you and your parents and all. I have a relationship with the cause, not with the caused. See, that's where I was in error. I was more interested in having a relationship with the world and the things and people of this world. People are more interested in their businesses and their money and their bank accounts and, have a relationship with their money, their image, whatever. If you have a relationship with other than Allah, first at least, you're lost. You're lost. I was lost. Get what I mean? All that guilt, that shame, that unworthiness, that that behaving badly, because you haven't gotten guidance. You get what I mean? There's guidance in the Quran, guidance to heal the diseases of the heart. It's a book of glad tidings. It's here to show you the way. Whose Guru worshippers and Pandit followers are not wanting to see the way of Abraham. Got some cultural thing going on from India, continuing in the darkness, ignorance and superstition. The quality of lives get worse and worse because they fail to remember Allah. First thing, remember Allah. Bring to Allah a purified heart. Will you acknowledge my heart is impure? If you say, no, I don't have a purified heart, how can I bring to Allah a purified heart when I don't have an impure heart? My heart is already pure. You're a fool. Why? Because you follow the Guru and the Pandit. You got to see. That's what you got to start off with. My heart is diseased. I don't even know about my soul and how to be kind to my soul. I'm not being kind to my soul. I don't even know what I am and who I am and where I am and what's going on here. I'm not kind to me. Look at how I'm with my body. Look at how people are with their bodies. How the Prophet was with his body. What the Quran guides us. Halal and tayyib. It's embarrassing to see people so ignorant, steeped in ignorance, claiming, to be Muslims. Embarrassing. See? But Allah is telling, read the Quran. Allah is calling you, asking you to admit, see that you are in error. Allah is merciful. See? So if you don't recognize that you are not kind to your soul, to yourself, your body, your life, your future self. I mean, by me respecting my body today, I'm supporting a better health for my future self, right? There are people who are, I used to smoke cigarettes, do all kinds of poisonous activities, right? But I stopped that. And look, I'm here, I'm healthy. But there are people who keep poisoning themselves, but it's not haram. It's makruh. It's not haram. Cigarette smoking is not haram. Yeah. Said those who want to worship Satan. It's poison. Since when putting poison in your body is not haram? You can't even put unhealthy meat in your mouth. Imagine putting poison in your mouth. Coating your lungs with tar. You know what I'm saying? So, people are just in error. Now the thing is, you're not supposed to feel shame and guilt by what I'm saying to you. You know what I mean? Shaitan wants you to, you've been schooled into, you should feel ashamed of yourself. You should feel guilty. All I'm asking you is, can you recognize you are in error? I recognized I was in error. I might have stood in prayer, but my heart lacked the smallest of kindnesses. Can you see that you don't know your soul and you're not being kind to it? Yourself, don't know yourself and you're not being kind to it. If you can't be kind to you, who are you going to be kind to? If you're poisoning your own body, you're eating, making yourself obese, just not moving your body, you have disregard for your body. The Prophet wasn't like that. I know you see the gurus and the pandits and you think he must have been like them. That's what I thought initially. But when you go and look at the Prophet, he was nothing like the gurus and the pandits with the big balcony and all that sort of thing. He was healthy, he didn't overeat, he ate good food, quality food, moved, rode horses, was fit. That's sunnah. Not I got my beard now, I'm following the sunnah, but look at the big stomach, it's a shame. What a misrepresentation. It's a travesty. It's, this is like blasphemy. It's blaspheming, portraying, lazy, gluttonous behavior as I'm following the sunnah because I got a beard. It's a bad state. People lack the smallest of kindnesses to their future selves, their afterlives. They're not interested. They're not interested in other people, being kind to other people. They're not interested in other people being kind to them. The hearts are diseased. It's a diseased heart. So I don't want you to feel guilty and shame, because that defeats the purpose. It's not going to help you to feel guilty and shame. It's for you to admit the fact that you are operating in a satanic way. You're not operating, and everybody has been, so don't feel bad. It's just that who will claim the refuge with Allah? Who will admit, I'm in error, I'm wronging my own soul? Who will admit, I am not behaving as a true Muslim? I don't have a relationship with my Creator. Who will admit that? That I'm just thinking Allah is this something somewhere that in the case of emergency, ask for help. That's an idea. What I mean? When I started becoming aware and experiencing truth, I realized that Allah is taking care of us, and He gave us the ability to be caring to ourselves, to be kind to ourselves. And I started being kind to myself. At first I had remorse that I wasn't being kind, and then I started being kind to myself in whatever way I could be. And I started behaving in ways that were beneficial to me and my life. See, there are people who don't behave in ways that are beneficial to them in their life, but they say they're Muslims. The most beneficial way is to trust in Allah and to receive the truth, that we are His creation in His care. He is merciful, He is compassionate. That yes, we are astray, yes, we are in error, but He's compassionate and merciful. To release that guilt and that shame, to be thankful that there's something we can do about this. We can admit our erring, and we can choose to learn, grow and develop. We can decide to learn, to grow and to develop. That we are all just underdeveloped. We haven't grown up with awareness. We don't have an adult awareness of Allah. We're not living as healthy adults, relating with amal. We're not healthy adults relating with iman, amal. We're not healthy adults supporting a tayyib life. We don't know, we're clueless. It must start with that. Instead of carrying on the game off, what's the game? The game is, please help me, I am desperate. Please, please, why are you doing this to me? I feel so sorry for myself. Oh, please, please. Being needy on Allah. Those who deny Allah and His kindness, His mercy, they will be needy because they're not aware of Allah. You can't be needy on Allah. You're the vicegerent of Allah. He created you and has blessed you, gave you the reason, created the world for you to live in. The world is created complete. You have reason. You can operate in the world, standing in this world as the highest of life forms. Literally. On your hind feet, upright and erect, not crouched over. He gave us the ability to be aware and experience Allah consciousness. Those who are just following some misguided Islamism, they are not aware and they're not experiencing Allah consciousness. Because that's what's the first thing. The first thing is not be perfect. And then you say, but I'm not. And then you say, but look at me, I'm doing bad things, I'm doing bad things, I feel bad. No, you are in error. We all are. I was deeply in error. That's not the problem. We all are in error. You got to accept that. That will we correct is the thing. To not correct is the error. The real error. You understand? Don't feel bad about being in error. Feel bad about not correcting. See? So shaitan messes with your mind. Wants you to be perfect. When you see faults about you and other people, judge yourself, judge them. We're all underdeveloped. This is where you find peace. I find ease when I know Allah has created the earth and spins the earth on the axis. That we don't have to create the earth and spin the earth on its axis, put a sun in the sky. Allah causes it to rain, provides the food to grow. I feel very relaxed that Allah is taking care of us. Not me, not you. I don't have to take care of you, you don't have to take care of me. I don't have to take care of me. You don't have to take care of you. What Allah is doing for us, I'm aware. He who created us, we are His creation in His care. He is the benevolent, beneficent. I'm at ease. Because I know I can go to sleep, all of us can go to sleep, it's okay. The earth will spin, the sun will rise. Get what I mean? As long as Allah wants it to, it will. I feel ease. Even though I am in error and I still have to correct and all that. But I feel assured, verily in the remembrance of Allah, hearts experience assurance. I feel reassured that I am in error, but Allah is merciful. He's calling me back to Him. He doesn't say, oh, you all went astray, you all forgot me. Don't come to me for refuge. Don't come to me for refuge. You're on your own. No. Allah says He's the refuge. He calls us back to Him. He cheers us along the way. Every step you take, He takes 10. So I feel assured. I feel ease. I feel pleased. I feel reassured. See? I feel pleased. I feel pleased that I'm a human being, the highest life form. I have the ability to reason. That Allah has supported us, sorted us. We sorted with Allah. And He supplied us with guidance. He's given to us what we require. We have what we require. Now I'm very pleased. And I know that we all are in error. We're all underdeveloped. It's okay that we are underdeveloped while we are. We don't have to make it wrong or bad that I'm underdeveloped, you're underdeveloped. I don't know how to care for my soul. I don't know how to care for me. I don't know how to care for my body. I don't know how to care for my life. I don't know how to care for my future life, my future self, my after self. I don't know. I don't know how to care for other people. I don't know how to let people care for me. It's okay. It's okay. Admit it without shame and guilt. We are yet to remember Allah, most people. Right? I speak for the most people. Yet, shukr to Allah, I have remembered Allah. I'm at that ease. I'm at that being pleased. I'm at peace. I allow me to be in error. I allow you to be in error. I don't expect me and you to be perfect. I do expect me to learn, grow and develop. And I do expect people to learn, grow and develop. But they don't choose that. They just want to remain the same. They don't want that peace. They don't want to become aware and see things clearly. They don't want to know who they are, where they are, what's going on. They want to live as those fearful, worried, guilty, shameful, threatened, vulnerable, angry, upset children that, and as they grew up. They don't want to realize, to teach that child, there's nothing to worry about. There's Allah who gave us guidance. There's nothing to worry about. When I used to worry, and sometimes when Satan whispers to me to worry, I just remind myself, I have Allah as my refuge. There's nothing to worry about. Because we go to Allah feeling very worried. Allah, I'm very worried. Allah, I think you should worry about this too, because this is a very serious problem. With all your power, I don't think you'll be able to deal with this. Foolish, unaware, ignorant people. When you go to Allah, you can let go of your worry. Allah has power over all things. You can let go of guilt. Allah alone is the perfect. You are not perfect. You'll never be. What you can be is honest, sincere, humble. What you can be is be willing to learn, grow and develop. What you can be is willing to feel different within you, willing to see differently, willing to become more aware. See? So I have had remorse. That's not guilt. When I saw the truth about me and how dark I was, in the darkness, Allah finds us and takes us out of the darkness. The light guides us out of the darkness. You get what I mean? We put ourselves in the darkness. Allah didn't create the darkness and says, right, I'm putting you in the darkness now. I put you in the darkness. No. We put ourselves in the darkness with Adam and Eve and Satan, their things, and us with Satan. We stay in the darkness that never was, unaware. I don't speak about the Indian cultural heritage to insult anybody or shame anybody. I guide you that you may be aware. You may be aware. If you don't become aware that you are following some kind of misguided ideology and you think you're on track, you will never see the truth about the fact that your heart is diseased. And that's okay. You have Allah to claim refuge with. You can purify your heart, and you can bring to Allah a purified heart. You see, if you don't admit it to yourself, not to Allah, that means Allah already knows. He knew when I was a self-deceiver. He knew. It was only I who didn't know and didn't admit it. See, when I admitted it, this heart is diseased, I'm unkind. I might stand in prayer. I might think I believe. But there's no peace in this heart. I'm not at ease. I'm not pleased. I'm not grateful. I'm only worried about this, that. This is a spiritual disease. I'm spiritually sick. See, now I am peaceful. I am patient. I understand. We're all underdeveloped. Some people want to remain underdeveloped. They think they're doing something very good. It's okay now. I've found a greater peace. Allah put tranquility in my heart as He expands me with Iman. So it's okay. I practice patience. Allah alone is truly the patient, but He gave us as human beings the ability to experience being patient. I chose to be patient with me. I continue to be patient with me as Allah is patient with me. And I choose to be patient with others too. Verily Allah is with those who are patient. See? So when I spoke the truth to myself about myself, that my heart was diseased, and I didn't go into guilt, shame and all that, and I felt thankful that Allah was merciful and He's calling me back, I felt happy. I have Allah as a refuge. I have a refuge. Allah is my refuge. I can admit my heart is diseased. I'm not caring for me. I'm not caring for others. I'm not letting others care for me. Some of us be like, but I do everything for everybody. Please. People pleasers, codependents, caretakers, don't fool yourself. If you don't care for you, you can't care for others. You just got this guilt and shame that you're trying to alleviate. You're trying to avoid feeling bad. You're trying to feel good. It's ego. When you want to take care of everybody like you're their God, and you deny yourself, and you're not kind to you, and you won't let others be kind to you, but you think you're kind to everybody. You're not kind to anybody, not even yourself. If you can't be kind to you, how are you going to be kind to anybody? I was there. That's how I'm talking. I know this. I know it very well. There's a transformation. There's change. Don't you want transformation? You must admit where you are. You must admit where you are. Without shame, guilt and unworthiness, with thankfulness to Allah. Thank you, there's guidance. I'm sorry I'm astray. I don't want to remain astray. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to grow. I'm willing to develop. I want to learn. Open your mind. Open your heart to truth. Fill my mind with awareness. I'm willing to see. I don't want to live in this ego identity any longer. I don't want to live as this child who's scared and afraid. I want to be an adult who is aware. I want to study truth, haq, as an adult. Not to live as a child with a child's understanding of Hindu culture, Islamic mix, this Islamism. I don't want to live as a Hindu Indian. I want to live as a Muslim. My identity is not Hindu, Muslim Indian, confused Hindu, Muslim Indian, modified Hindu Indian. I want to live as a believer. See, beyond the identities. You don't have to perpetuate our Indian, identity and Indian culture. Islam is here to liberate all to truth, one universal way of enlightenment. Get what I mean? So it's about seeing the truth that my heart is diseased. I don't know myself as a believer. I know myself as I'm following some cultural ideology, and a very mixed one at that too. No, it's not the genuine thing. I'm so grateful that I'm guided to the refuge. I require a refuge. I admitted to myself, I required a refuge. I still require a refuge. I'm grateful there's a refuge. in the light with Allah from the darkness of my own mind and the disease in my own heart. There's beyond who I've been, how I've lived, what I've experienced. There's a potential and possibility for me to actually become a believer. I choose that. To live with Iman in my heart, I actually choose that. I really want to have Iman in my heart. Remember, the Bedouin Arabs, they said, La ilaha illallah, so they came to the Prophet. They said the Shahada. And they came to the Prophet. And they said, but we are believers. The Quran responded immediately. The revelation came through. Don't say you're a believer, for faith has not entered into your heart. Rather say you're one who's submissive in religion. But don't say you're a believer. No. We can say we're not believers. We want to become believers. There's a refuge that allows us to become believers, who have Iman in our hearts. We can aspire. We can desire, but you can't do that when you're carrying guilt, shame, when you're feeling bad, when you're trying to, avoid feeling bad, when you're trying to feel good, when you're saying, Allah help me, from the effects of your own. You're not taking responsibility that those who fail to remember Allah, theirs will be a depressed life. You're not realizing that. I haven't received guidance. I don't even know what guidance is all about. I'm just following some ritualistic, concocted, distorted understanding of Islam with the gurus and the pandits. Living out the continuation of India and South Africa. Turn to Allah, humbly, if you want to. Your Creator already knows you are in error. Do you know you are in error? Can you have regret and remorse? Can you say that there's guidance but I'm not aware of it? That I never really wanted it? I've been following a system that's not really authentic? There's only one to turn to, and that's Allah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I choose to receive the guidance of Allah, the Quran, the Prophet. Real, not these ideas of let me be this unhealthy, completely character is very questionable, bad habits, but I got my beard and my hat is on my head, so I'm following the sunnah. I'm like the Prophet. You're not like the Prophet. A liar. The Prophet was nothing like that. Doesn't mean you put a beard on your face. The Quran says they are liars. They are liars. They are deceivers. I'm not trying to run anybody down. All I'm telling you, if you don't wake up to the truth, the sooner you see things for what they really are and see how astray we are, we can have remorse and we can put our heart into full speed ahead, that I choose to become Allah conscious. We can have that intention. We can become intentional, because the idea is to feel remorse. Thankful that Allah has guided us to truth, guided us to Him, that we have Him as a refuge, that He's not withholding love from us. He's still kind to human beings, even though we're not kind to ourselves. We will let that love reach us, that compassion and that mercy reach us. That's the start. Admit the truth and let that compassion and that mercy reach you. Release the judgment against yourself and each other, because that's what Satan doesn't want you to do. Let Allah's mercy reach you. I testify that Allah is merciful. I am a witness to Allah's mercy. You get what I mean? I believe in Allah in the last day. The Prophet is the final revelator. But I'm talking about, I'm a witness to Allah's mercy. I experience Allah and His mercy. That is something that you got to be happy about. That I could have been left to stray. I could have lived with a diseased heart. I could have died with a diseased heart. I could have been astray and left to stray. It would have been bad for me in the hereafter. Read the Quran, what it says about those people who follow the gurus and the pandits. They'll turn to the gurus and the pandits in the hereafter and say, but we turned to you, we trusted you, and we're in hell, do something. They'll say, we couldn't do anything for you then and for us then. We can't do anything for you and for us now. You followed in error. Get what I mean? So we have the opportunity for those of us who are interested. It's tough to look around you and speak the truth and wake up from the denial, but it's good to become aware, because you start experiencing the truth, you start experiencing compassion. That I am in error, but Allah is the compassionate. I let His love reach me. I'm so grateful He's compassionate. I have remorse. I repent. I'm willing to change in my ways. I'm willing to establish a relationship of Tawheed with Him. I'm interested to have a relationship with Allah, an actual relationship. I'm willing to become Allah conscious and experience that ease that Ashraf is talking about, that being pleased that Ashraf is talking about, that peace that Ashraf is talking about. I'm willing to, the difference is in our minds. Let me tell you that. It's not in the world. The difference is in our mind. The difference is in awareness and experiencing. If you have that change in awareness and experiencing, you're becoming more aware, you experience more security, assurance, reassurance, insurance. That's how you know you are winning, because there's more trust in Allah, peace. You know you messed up. You know you caused a problem. It wasn't Allah is causing problems for you. You know you can learn. You're willing to learn. You're willing to have Allah protect you from your negativity and the effects of your negative. Allah is not only compassionate and merciful. He told the Prophet, tells us in the Quran, ask for forgiveness, you'll get it. But not as a one who denies. Only those who have faith in their hearts, those who pray, are those who really pray, are those who have faith in their hearts. If you don't have faith in your heart, you can't invoke. If you're not aware of Allah and His mercy, you can't receive His forgiveness. You understand what I'm saying? Help me, forgive me. Desperate. You don't know what to say. I'm supposed to say something. Forgive me. Just tell me what to say and how many times I must say it. How clueless do you want to remain? How clueless? Don't you want to become aware of what mercy means? Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Don't you want to know what the names of Allah, the nature of Allah is? You have, as a human being, the ability to have a relationship with Allah and become aware of Allah's wonderful nature. Don't you want to experience Allah's nature? Because that's awareness and experiencing. Allah, you alone are the peace, salam. You alone are patient, as-sabur. Allah, you are compassionate and merciful. You are loving and kind. Al-Wadud al-Rauf. Allah, you are the giving. Get what I mean? So, it's will you relax and speak the truth to yourself. The problems you've had and the problems you are having is not because of Allah, it's because of your ignorance, your superstition. It's because you're not aware, you're not experiencing. You haven't acknowledged guidance as the great value that it has for us. You haven't really been guided. You've been schooled into religion, blind following, blind faith. That's where I was, just like some of you were listening to this. But look at where I am, shukr to Allah. Peace in my heart. My heart is, I release worry, fear, doubt, guilt, shame, neediness, not good enoughness, not enoughness. These are all diseases of a child heart, that when an adult is informed by guidance, can release that diseased heart of a child, of an unaware person. Shukr to Allah who has given us guidance. I choose to value that guidance, to receive that guidance, to use that guidance, to be made aware and to experience from a higher level of perception, higher perspective. The believer's perspective and the non-believer's perspective are two different perspectives. A believer has a believer's perspective. A non-believer doesn't have a believer's perspective. That means Allah consciousness, yaqeen, taqwa, iman, belief in the heart. Yaqeen is certainty of faith. Certainty of faith. Iman, yaqeen, taqwa, the shield of faith. A true believer is one who is aware of Allah and has a relationship or feels secure with Allah. He's operating in a way that benefits them. Iman, amal, in support of a life tayyibun. If you didn't support a wholesome life and you don't have one, It's not a coincidence. You've been given the ability to reason. You've been given the ability to receive from Allah. Well, if you don't know Allah, how are you going to, if you're not recognizing Allah, how are you going to reason as a believer and receive as a believer? You won't. See? So there's no shortcut. There's only the truth that we are astray. And we are here to remember Allah. And if you remember Allah, your heart will experience assurance. If you remember Allah abundantly, yours will be a prosperous life. Those who have faith, the Quran says, and have Iman in their hearts, they have good conduct, whether they're male or female. There is for them a tayyib life, because they are aware of Allah's benefiting of them, and they're operating in a way that benefits themselves. Allah has given us the capacity to operate constructively. Allah has given us the capacity to be kind to ourselves, our bodies, our lives, our souls, other people, our future selves, our after selves. Allah has given us that capacity. When you use that capacity, that's amal. When you live self-beneficially, self-constructively, healthily. So if you have Iman, you know the benefit that Allah is to you, and that your every spiritual need is met, that you never need. You have Allah to worship and to turn to. If you know that, there's no neediness. You have Allah to worship and to turn to, sufficient for you, to purify your heart, to protect you, to progress you, to prosper. You have Allah. If you knew that, if you really knew Allah, you know you have Allah. And you'll feel happy now. You feel that Allah is absolutely valuable, the one alone relevant, and I have Allah. And no matter what is going on, it's temporary. You will change the way you see things, how you feel as a believer. You won't be controlled by the world. You won't try to control the world. You will feel Allah's benefit of you, and you will know that nobody can benefit you the way Allah has benefited you, and you can't benefit anybody the way Allah has benefited them. And you will know that Allah has given us the capacity to be kind to ourselves, our bodies, our lives, to use reason, to respond, to relate, to be responsible. You will use it, Iman and Amal. If you live with Iman and Amal, security, selffulness, there is satisfaction for you in this world. You can even know what it is, and you can support it. People are clueless as to what is satisfaction in life, what is satisfaction in marriage. They have no clue. That's those who don't have the believer's perspective, you understand? Those who are unaware, ignorant, superstitious, they are lost. They have no clue. So there's guidance. And it has come to humanity, and I have valued it and received it, and I value it and I use it. And I'm not the same person because I'm more aware, I'm more experiencing, I'm more expressing myself as a secure person in a beneficial way for me and others, in a kinder way for me and others. I'm applying myself in a kinder way for me and for others. Allah gave us the opportunity to be aware, to experience security with Him as a believer does. The secure. Allah has given us the ability to express ourselves as believers, to apply ourselves as believers, to receive and rejoice His favors in this world, to appreciate and enjoy natural living as believers. We can do that. See, if you do that, there's nothing else you can do, really. People feel helpless in situations because they're trying to do what they can't do. If you become aware and you experience, if you express and apply yourself as a believer, if you appreciate and enjoy natural living, you support it and invoke it, there's no problem. See? Guidance. Only because I'm guided, I know this. I've become aware what I can become aware. I'm experiencing what I can experience. I'm being what I can be. I'm living what I can live. Because guidance has come to me. I'm no longer superstitious, ignorant, lost in my mind with culture and all that. So shukr to Allah who's given humanity guidance. All of us from different cultures can actually come to a universal way of peace through the guidance, a universal way of human beings living through the guidance to humanity and experiencing a natural life that all of us, no matter what culture we come from and so on and so forth, we can all be part of a universal humanity, living at the highest levels of security, selflessness, and satisfaction in this world. Peace, power, prosperity, consciousness in this world, and paradise in the world beyond. All praise, glory, and thanks is due to Allah Almighty. His choicest blessings upon the beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.